So you wonder, is traveling Australia all about Byron Bay and Gold Coast? No, I'm currently road tripping Western Australia, one of the driest and least populated areas on the planet. In the last episode, I explored the beautiful and versatile south of Western Australia. And now I'm making my way up north on a 3,000 kilometers road trip that has everything, from driving on salt lakes to blue ass water and beautiful dune camping. So join in and we'll find out together what Western Australia is all about.
Good morning once again from Western Australia. After my trip that was about a week long all the way down to Albany via Margaret River, Denmark and a couple of other little towns, I'm now starting off the big adventure, the big road trip. The car held up pretty good so far, so it's done 1 week without any major hiccups or anything. And now I'm making my way up to Broome, which is about a 2,000 kilometers drive, but I'm not going to do it all alone because I picked up Leon, who's over there packing up his tent. We're about to experience one of the biggest landmarks in Western Australia. One of the things that you have to do when you go to Western Australia and you go up north from Perth to Exmouth or even longer, you have to visit the Pinnacle Desert. And that is what we're going to do today. It's about a 30 minutes drive over to Pinnacle Desert. So let's see what one of the biggest landmarks in Western Australia actually looks like. I'm super excited, so let's get into the car and then let's go.
The Pinnacles are amazing natural limestone structures formed approximately 25 to 30,000 years ago after the sea receded and left deposits of seashells.
One of the things that people tell you, but then you're not really prepared for unless you are here, is the amount of flies. There is so many flies around. We bought some fly nets, but we didn't put them up yet. But there's just so many flies. It's insane. They're everywhere. And they're always on your back, but you won't see. But there's probably 20, 30 of them sitting at my back right now. Especially when I don't move, they just go over my face. They go everywhere. There's an interesting one, and it's only going to get worse from here. But yeah, that's not really putting us off from these beautiful views here. And it's such an insane place. It looks really interesting and like I've never seen something like that. It's so cool.
Over time, coastal winds removed the surrounding sand, leaving the pillars exposed to the elements. The pinnacles range in height and dimension. Some stand as high as 3.5 meters. My tip? Get yourself a multi-day pass for the WA national parks, or even a season pass to save a lot of money when you want to visit multiple national parks along your trip.
After a rather pretty uneventful stop at the beach for about an hour or so and a short drive through Jurian Bay, we found ourselves some sand dunes. How cool is that? So there were a couple of sand dunes on the way yesterday, but we started so late in Perth that we couldn't really make it to the sand dunes. So we were like, oh, sad, we missed out on that. But now we found ourselves some here, and that's super nice. And also, I think there's only one way to actually see the dunes properly, and that is getting the drone up.
We had a blast exploring these dunes, partly because we were the only people around, as most people go to the bigger, more famous Lancelin sand dunes further south. We liked the place so much, in fact, that we decided to stay here overnight.
So good morning. We woke up to this, which is pretty incredible. Leon is already up there watching the sunrise. I slept in a bit. I'm gonna make my way up the dune because we decided to camp here yesterday. Gonna make my way up the dune and then watch a bit of the sunrise from up there and have a morning coffee, of course.
Leon had already brought up all the breakfast gear, so all I had to do was enjoying that very moment. And I mean, what can I say? Waking up in the dunes, drinking that morning coffee up there and watching an incredible sunrise is still one of my best memories of the entire trip. Eventually, we abandoned this wonderful place, being all ready for whatever would come next.
After the most beautiful camp spot that we had this morning, it was just amazing right next to the dunes. Then we traveled around 10 kilometers to Green Head, had a bit of a break there at the beach, and then decided to move on to get to this one, a salt lake. This is just, I think it's just called Salt Lake. I don't even know if it has any specific name, but it's insane. Like if I go over there to one of the tracks, I mean, there's so much salt. I can show you some here without traveling too far. Look at this. This is all salt crystals. Like, and it's actually quite salty. I've tried it. That's so cool. And yeah, there's so much salt down there. It's insane. And we're gonna get the drone up now. And there's so much more salt here. Look at these crystals. If we were in medieval ages and we'd be harvesting just what is in these tire tracks, you pitch, we could probably buy 3 castles of that. But anyways, we're getting the drone up and then try to track the car while driving on the salt lake with the drone. That's the plan for now. It's great fun. Let's see how good it works. Let's get the drone up and then some good salt lake drone shots.
After messing around on the salt lake, it was time to get to the next big landmark on the list, Hutt Lagoon, which is also called Pink Lake, well, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's like pinkish. Yeah. And there's salt here.
The pink color comes from an algae called Daneliella salina. When exposed to the sunlight, it produces beta-carotene, the red pigment found in carrots, giving the lake its signature color. Having seen enough of the pink lake, we went on towards the town of Kalbarri, where we stopped at a beautiful viewpoint before entering the actual town. After a quick stop in Kalbarri, we eventually set camp further inland, preparing for an early morning that was to come up.
We woke up quite early at 4:35-ish to do the, what's it called, Nature's Window Trail in Kalbarri National Park, which is again one of these like kind of landmarks that you have to do when you do a West Coast road trip. Kalbarri National Park is what people say is one of these musts. And then if you're in the national park, then you want to do Nature's Window, which is this kind of hole in a rock formation. And at a certain point of the day, I think it's quite early in the morning, sun will shine straight through that window. So we're hoping to get this done. Sun hasn't really fully kind of risen, so it was quite dark when we got here. The unfortunate thing is the campground that we had to sleep on, because it was free, is about 100 kilometers from the actual park. So you have to do an hour of driving before you actually get to the park. But anyways, we're gonna enjoy that walk now. And then after that, we do another one of these big landmarks here in Kalbarri National Park, which is the Skywalk, which I think will probably be seen over there, yeah.
Even though the sun didn't shine through the actual rock arch, it was well worth to wake up early for this sunrise.
That was Nature's Window. Quite nice, even though there's a couple of people here, all trying to get their money shots with the sun through the window. Now it is time to do the actual loop track, which goes down that way. There's not a single person doing it, so we'll have it all to ourselves. At least it looks like it. Looks like a really nice track. It gets hotter, sun comes out. That means the flies wake up, so got my fly net ready. Yeah, we're off doing that loop track. It's about 2.5 hours, people say. We'll probably be able to do it in 2 then. It's about 9 kilometers. Just along this ridge line. Looks beautiful.
Walking along the ridgeline and eventually right through the riverbed all alone was amazing.
about 3 kilometers into the hike, so 6 to go. It's getting a little hotter, but still okay. But yeah, lots of flies out now, so it's fly net time. So down here, this is the river that typically flows in summer. But yeah, there's not much left. There's just a few puddles, so not too much to see, and definitely no place to swim. But anyways, a really cool track. Looks pretty insane.
Despite heaps of flies and rising temperatures, we had a great time tackling the 8 to 9 kilometers loop track. However, if you want to do the trek yourself, take note that the trek is closed from 7 AM onwards between April and November due to the hot temperatures in the park.
So, walk done. And now we're doing the other touristy thing, which is the skywalk. There we go, Kalbarri Skywalk. So that's pretty much the end of the day. So we did Kalbarri National Park, then drove around for ages to get to Denham. Didn't quite get to Denham. Had a bit of a struggle with the parking situation or the camping situation. Couldn't really decide on where to go and all these things. Been really frustrated, but then ended up in this bit of a gravel pit. No, that is pretty good. I mean, that patch of sky as well. That is insane. No, it will not pick up on this, but yeah, that is pretty bloody good. And with that, I think over and out for today, and then see you tomorrow in Denham and more cool things like this. Yeah, that entire beach, it's just shells, it's nothing else. With the shock loss, the pressure, and with the okay, this is becoming a race against the clock now.